From our studios at historic Arnold's Park Amusement Park, it's Okoboji Broadcast with Jeff Thee. Welcome to Okoboji Broadcast, everybody. I'm Jeff Thee, coming to our studios right here, Arnold's Park Amusement Park. My guest today is State Representative John Wills, of course, of District Number 1, Legislative District Number 1, right here, covering and including the Iowa Great Lakes area. And John, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on this New Year's, close to New Year's Day. Anyway.
Yeah, we're kicking off the new year here, and of course with a new legislative session right around the corner. And you know, I don't think it's any mystery to anybody that last year, you know, you had a big halftime, and then you wrap things up as best as you could to get for the budget and everything, but. Now, and I know you've been with your caucus and so forth, looking ahead to the 2021 session. Are there any priorities as we move forward that you'd like to see and the caucus would like to see done? Yeah,
you know, last year we're supposed to have a 100-day session, and we cut it short at about 45 or 50 and ended up doing 75 total. So we really had a short session. Yeah. A lot of things just kind of got kicked to the side because of COVID and that sort of thing. And so it's to be expected we're going to pick up a lot of that stuff again this year, you know. But kind of the top things on our mind right now are budget reform, or making sure that we have enough revenue to support the budget that we do have. We don't want to be going midterm next year and cutting a budget like we have done in the past. Yeah. We want to make sure that we're budgeting soundly, but also prudently, so that we're not having to do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of one of our number one priorities, is to make sure that we support our state with enough money, but yet do it in a way that's a sound budgeting.
Yeah. Do you think do you foresee any legislative action being taken on even like maybe some of the recovery from COVID at all? Governors had to handle a lot of the stuff, and see anything coming down the pike for that?
Well, you know, a lot of the CARES Act money has done a lot of the good stuff already.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to look at it on an individual basis. You know, some of the things that have been done on the shutdown has hurt specific populations of businesses this year: bars, restaurants, movie theaters. Those are the ones that come immediately to mind. There's others. I don't mean to leave anybody out.
Right.
But we really should look at something, you know, along the lines for them. You know, it's been suggested that maybe we have 3 pots of money that are fully funded right now, with almost $1 billion of money sitting in them. And so there's been those that have suggested, why don't you just use some of that money and give some money out? The problem with that is next year those funds automatically refill. And so what we're doing is just kicking the can down the road to next year. Now, granted, I think that next year is going to be a much better year in terms of revenue and that sort of thing. But what if it isn't?
Yeah.
We've got to really be looking at our rainy day funds for a purpose. Luckily, we had enough money in the bank to pay all of our bills this year. We didn't have to tap into those. And we have a $350 million surplus.
Yeah.
And so let's use that surplus and do that in a sound manner. But then let's look at what we do with those rainy day funds and make sure that they are used during a rainy day.
Yeah. You're aided in your agenda for the fact that, you know, election day came and went, and I know there was concerns of losing some strength in the House or the Senate, and of course the governor's got a couple more years here, but you held on to your numbers in the legislature and in the Iowa Senate.
Yeah, we held on to the same number in the Senate, and we actually gained seats in the Iowa House despite having been outspent 2-1, pretty close to that. And so that's a pretty good testament that people in the state of Iowa like what we're doing in the Iowa House and want to see more of that continue.
Yeah. Did you know, looking at from last year, I know at one time we talked and I asked you about even some mental health things, and you told me at that time, well, we wanted to get to some of that last year, and well, obviously we know what happened.
Well, we had a good proposal from the governor, Invest Iowa, and that would have kind of reworked how mental health is funded in the state of Iowa. It would have taken it off the property tax rolls and put it onto the state general fund with a tax reform kind of thing. I think that's going to come back again this year. We'll have to look and see if we have the money, if we have the ability to be able to do that this year with the budget. You know, our revenues have been affected. The Revenue Estimating Committee has said it's not affected as bad as what we thought, but we'd really like to wait till that March Revenue Estimating Committee meets to really kind of say, yes, there's a trend that our revenues are actually increasing. They're not increasing as strongly or as fast as what we thought they would.
Yeah.
Another thing is with the derecho and some of those other things that have happened in the state of Iowa, USDA payments to farmers was almost double what it's been in the past. And so you've got kind of a perfect storm of, we don't know exactly where our revenue is. We've got a lot of federal payments coming in to our farmers. And that's a huge, 30% of our revenue is from the ag industry.
Right.
And so we don't know exactly where all of that stuff will fit.
Have you heard anything from area educators as to what their needs are going to be budget-wise moving into this session?
So I actually sit on the education committee this year for the first time, and right now, the last I heard, they were asking for 6% increase in funding. Well, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Which isn't unusual. I mean, usually they ask for a bit higher than
Right.
what you're planning on.
Maybe they're asking for more than what they want in hopes that they'll get a little bit more.
Sure.
But in the last 10 years, we've funded education K through 12 almost $1 billion increase, and and we haven't cut them once over that last 10 years. And so I think we can stand proud on our record as far as funding for education. I do believe that there will be some education reform this year. I believe that there's kind of a movement afoot in the state. Parents are asking for school choice. They're asking for the ability to be able to send their kids to other places.
Right.
School systems like the Des Moines school system has stopped open enrollment because they say that it affects their diversity plan.
Right.
So we need to really look at that and say, if a parent wants to move their child someplace, they should be allowed to do that.
Right. Now, as I recall last year of being at a couple of the legislative forums, while we could still have them, talking about for daycare workers, for daycare. Did that ever get finished up, or was that something left in the wake?
It was left in the wake because there was a price tag of, $70 million or something for what we wanted to do. It was a priority for both the House and the Senate, and I'm sure it's a priority for the governor. I know that that's going to come back again this year.
Yeah.
And so we'll just have to see what form it comes back, whether we can do that full $70 million plan, or if we have to pare it down is going to be a matter of what we have to really decide.
Yeah. Has the governor put forth any things that she'd like to see get done that didn't get done last year? Or?
I haven't heard, next week, Tuesday, and I guess it's been changed to 6 p.m. So that people can watch it on TV.
Oh.
The governor will address the legislature, and that's when she usually comes out with her big plans. And so that'll be interesting. It'll be December, January 12 at 6 p.m. next week. And usually Iowa Public TV addresses it or airs it. So
this is their annual State of the State address, and so she'll put some things out there at that. And you get to work on when do you head down to the State House?
I go on the 11th, so she'll give her talk on the second day of session. And then we have 30 days after that to come up with our state supplemental aid for schools. And so that's really how we've done that. And I'm very proud of the fact that in the 6 years that I've been there, and it will be the 7th year, we will come out with a funding package within 30 days that the governor can then sign. And so we've met our expectations. Now, there has been times where the Senate didn't meet their obligations, and so we in the House have met our obligations. The Senate hasn't always done that, but we will do it again this year.
Well, and are they taking any protocols as far as safety, health-wise in the State House?
Yeah, we're gonna. I have a part-time clerk that I have work with me, and so we're gonna encourage out of the Iowa House. We have 100 members, so 100 of these clerks. We're going to encourage that they work at home as much as possible. My clerk this year is brand new, and so I'm going to have her there for, just a period of time so I can get her trained, and then we'll encourage her or all of our clerks to work at home or other places. Yeah. And then we'll have social distancing. We'll try to, distance. We'll have places set up so that legislators, especially who are, more at risk,
Yeah.
will be able to be sequestered off a little bit. And then, as like last year, we just said, if you don't have any business in the state capitol, then don't be at the state capitol. I don't know how it's going to affect gatherings. For example, Second Amendment, folks usually come about the 1st of February or so, and they have a big deal. It's a really neat, fun event at the state capitol. Well, how's that going to be affected?
Yeah.
And the Capitol is there for those kind of things, and it should be used for those kind of things. And if we say no to that, are we stifling, public speech?
Yeah.
Free speech and that sort of thing. So we've got to really think about how we do that. A lot of our subcommittees will be in larger rooms, and then we will also look at how we can do, more video, more, virtual subcommittee meetings. And type of things where you can email questions, email comments for subcommittee meetings instead of being there in person.
Yeah. And the same work, lobbyists, all that sort of stuff that you can have Zoom meetings and.
Yeah. Lobbyists typically, I really don't know how that's going to work because, the best way to talk with somebody, a legislator, for example, for me, is to talk with me person to person.
Yeah.
You lose some things in that Zoom. For goodness sakes, I know I've had enough Zoom meetings this year. You definitely lose some things with that, but it's better than nothing. And so we may have some of that, may have a lot of phone calls, but there's going to also be some in person.
Yeah.
And we just have to do the best we can.
And that, what everybody has done through this thing, do the best you can, and sometimes you have to be innovative, but get the job done. And
the thing I really worry about is we do have some at-risk folks and some older folks, and so I think that we're going to try to get immunizations for those people, and if we can start getting immunizations and getting things on track, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. Well, if people have questions, concerns moving forward, and I know you answer emails, take phone calls, and so forth. Sounds like we're going to have some legislative sessions anyway. I know Spencer Chamber announced their Eggs and Issues schedule, so people, hopefully, however they do that, be able to ask you questions.
Yeah, we'll have, I think the first one's going to be virtual in January, and then after that we're planning on in person. I hope we do. I really like those. I like to be able to see people and talk to people and get their questions and feedback in person. If we don't, I will do something on my own and just we'll meet at Hy-Vee at 11 o'clock or whatever.
There you go, yeah.
We don't have to have something formal in order to get together. But if somebody does have a question that they can't wait for the forum or a comment, they can always feel free to give me a call or email me, because I do try to be very responsive to those. Or Facebook. I mean, I have all the modern.
Yeah, you're on top of things.
I'm not always the best at doing things, but I try to work hard and get things done right.
All those venues are available to those who have questions or concerns. All right. Well, Representative Wills, thanks for taking time here with me today.
Thank you. Thanks for squeezing me in and getting me in today.
My pleasure indeed. State Representative John Wills joining us here today. The legislature is getting ready to move and do the work for all of us here in Iowa. We thank John for being here with us. We thank you for watching us right here on Okoboji Broadcast. Okoboji Broadcast from the studios at historic Arnold's Park Amusement Park is brought to you by the Scott Troutman State Farm Agency in Spirit Lake, Pure Fishing in Spirit Lake, Last Touch Painting and Cleaning, providing interior, exterior, house painting, and professional cleaning services in Spirit Lake. Quest Wealth Management, a financial advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services. Advisor Jan Spielman, AJ Spielman, and Erica Wachholz. Ducky's Marine and Motorsports Repair in Spirit Lake. Bank Midwest, dream big, plan wisely, live well. Lakes Regional Healthcare and Avera Partner. Attorney Bethany Brands at Brands Law Office in Spirit Lake. Ruthven Locker at the Lake, where carnivores are welcome on Hill Avenue in Spirit Lake. Beck Engineering in Spirit Lake. Be Radiant Laser Skin Studio in the Okoboji Plaza in Okoboji. The YMCA of the Okobojis is the Bedell Family YMCA, building strong families and strong communities.